And I'm gonna go ahead and start recording. Now we're recording this session. Okay. We got more people joining. That's great. Okay, so we got Anna said 8. Cool. We got Nancy joining us and Jenna joining us. Nancy, if you want to do a quick introduction, just share where you're from and what kind of, are you a family chocolate provider?
I am the president of the board of directors for a startup childcare center. So we're in the process right now of gathering our funds to get our site ready.
Wonderful. And how many kids are you expecting to have in your site?
18 total, 8 infants and 10 toddlers. So it's going to be kind of a home-like environment.
Okay. And Jen, how about yourself? Where are you coming from? What kind of childcare program do you work in?
Hi, I'm Jen Severance. I live in South Burlington. I work for First Children's Finance, so I work primarily with programs who are using this type of software. So I thought I would join tonight and learn a little bit more.
Definitely. Well, I will say before we get started, I've been to Vermont a couple of times. You guys have a beautiful state. I love the nature out there and the green. I'm sure it's cold right now, but definitely
it's
one
white
of the
right now. It's
it's
white,
what?
not green. It's
White?
white.
Okay.
Yeah, we have snow.
So I'm in New York. We haven't gotten our first snow quite yet, but Vermont's lovely. So I'm sure you guys enjoy the fresh air, which I also miss here in New York. But let's go ahead and get into it for what we all joined for. Just get it all ready. And we're all right. So I just wanted to start. Let me just make sure we got the right screen. Sorry. Oh, we got one more person coming in. And I asked before, but some people, we were saying, how comfortable do you feel with technology as a tool in business from 1 to 10, 1 being not comfortable, 10 being very comfortable. We got an 8, we got a 5. So we got, sounds like we're generally a bit comfortable. We have a 4. Okay. Nancy, Jen, if you want to chime in there, just curious, how much, how comfortable are you with technology? Jen's got us at an 8. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get us into it. My name is Benny. I'm part of the playground team here. We're based out in New York. For those of you who may not know, and this is just a nice little slide I made. For those of you who may not know what Playground is, we are a childcare management software. Like you may know, many already exist, but we are here to help you centralize all your childcare administrative responsibilities, from enrolling new families, billing, communication, attendance, paperwork, all your day-to-day administrative tasks into one software that's made specifically for that. And so with that, there's a lot of benefits that we provide, from automating processes. For example, automatic emails can go out through Playground. You can automatically charge tuition. You can store all your paperwork digitally, distribute it to your families, and collect it all as a part of your application process. And that really ensures that you're running your business as you should, making sure you have the full information you need to, run a professional licensed business, but also not make it too much of a burden on yourself to do so. So we help you set up your enrollment process so that you can enroll families with all information you need, have them set up their billing information, have them choose their billing plans, have them automatically, add in their communication, email numbers. Everything is set up, and then all of a sudden you, as the admin or director, will see all that information on your side. And I'm going to show you a bit more of a product right now, but the story behind Playground is my friend Dan, who is the CEO. He started this with his brother as a solution for their mom, who's a childcare director in Los Angeles. She had a preschool with 250 kids. She was using a lot of different softwares to run her school, and it just wasn't really working. And my friends are both software engineers, and they said, hey, Mom, let's make you something better. So what started off as a simple check-in and check-out process during COVID, touchless check-in and check-out, has now evolved into a full-scale childcare software product that serves the full spectrum of, from the moment you want to enroll a new family, to the billing, to the communication in the day-to-day, to reporting with the government. We're really here to help you out in the whole process of running your business, and we see ourselves kind of as your partner. And you'll definitely see why, given how involved we like to be, how responsive we are with our customers. We kind of make it like a playground family here. And Vermont's a small state. I feel you guys feel the family vibe. We feel the family vibe. So hopefully you guys will soon become part of the playground family. Great. So just to give you an idea, for those who may not have known, playground subscriptions are currently free for a limited number of Vermont providers as a part of this program with Let's Grow Kids. So just keep that in mind. If you like what you see, you want to learn more, there's no cost of entering for a limited group. I believe there is a cap. So if you're interested, it's first come, first serve. Do reach out sooner rather than later. Awesome. So as I mentioned before, we're a one unified solution. Choose what you want to look at, but we offer solutions for all the below things, from family engagement, which is direct chat, activities, immunization tracking, staff management, your food program, your subsidies, enrollment, paperwork. There's a lot. You guys as childcare, business owners do a lot in your day-to-day. And I'm sure you guys have those headaches that often come about of, I have to do so many things in addition to just provide the care for my children. You guys are busy. There's a lot to do. Playground, we like to be that one-stop shop and minimize the extra work you have to do and keep everything in one spot for you to have one thing to look at instead of logging into one thing for paperwork, one thing for communication, one thing for your photos, one thing for attendance. You do it all with Playground. And like I said before, we like to think of ourselves as a family here. We treat everyone that is a part of our community with unparalleled support and love. We respond to you. You'll have all our phone numbers here in the company pretty much. You can give us a call anytime if you have questions, comments, concerns. We also have immediate chat that you can basically within 30 seconds get in touch with any one of us for questions on support, a problem you're having, and we'll hop on with you on a Zoom or whatever. We're very, we know you guys are busy. You can't wait 48 to 2 weeks to get a response back from us. We are here to respond immediately. And we have a bunch of stuff already made to help you out if you ever have questions about how do I set up my billing plan, or what's the best way I can communicate with parents, or how do I do my paperwork. We think about all this before, we have it all ready for you. And our onboarding, we like to call, is white glove, where we help you get all the information you need set up so that you're set up for success without having a ton of extra work on your behalf. And it typically takes less than a week. You can even get us set up in a day, depending on how much data you have to import. Awesome. So I believe, anyone have a question so far for me to start off? Any questions? Cool. So I want to go ahead and show you a bit of actually what Playground looks like. I'm curious, does anybody here already use a childcare software? Has anyone ever used a childcare software in the past? You can also just shoot it into the chat. But for those of you who have not, this is Playground, your potential new best friend. How exciting. But this is what you as the administrator would be seeing on your side. You would log in here, you have all your school data. So you would have all your student information here. You can see their last name, first name, the classroom they're in, their date of birth, their age, their status, and there's a lot. This product can sometimes be overwhelming if you don't know what you're looking at. That's why we're here to help you get onboarded and set up. Here you have your student information. You can have all their personal details, from birthday, street address, first day of school, anything you want. And you can also add any custom fields. So if you want to know their favorite ice cream flavor, you can also add a field for that. And then this can go across all your students, and you can say this one loves chocolate. And now you have that information saved forever. You can see with that check mark, it is now saved on their profile. And the idea here is, we know you may like to track custom information. With Playground, it's very customizable. You can track whatever information you want on your student profiles. You can also make any changes. Anytime you make a change, either yourself or a coworker or anything of the sort, we'll log that change for you. So you can say, oh, someone changed their billing plan. Who did that? Instead of wondering, you can just go in and see their changes history. You can also leave notes for yourself on a student if you want to add a note saying this student gets hangry, for example. And now you can have that only for staff if you want, or you can make it available to parents as well. But now you have this note for your records. You also have all your guardian information here. So the parents, guardians, anyone who is in charge of your children, you can have their phone number, email, the relationship to the child. You also have your student schedule. So when they come in, if they have specific schedules, you can make that set up. You can also generate attendance logs through Playground. And this is part of our attendance feature where you automatically track attendance through Playground. You would have a tablet in your childcare program with a QR code. Parents would come in using the Playground app, which they have on their phone. They would scan the QR code and they'd sign off. They would automatically track or mark attendance, check in and check out at the end of the day. And then that would show up here. So you can automatically, with no work, no spreadsheets, no pencils, you just set up a QR code or you have a 4-digit PIN for the families and you can track your attendance here and you can report, print this out, send it to yourself as a CSV, anything you want for reporting purposes. But the idea is, another way to minimize your workload, reduce something you have to think about, and you can keep it here in perpetuity. So you're not gonna have to worry about your binder getting wet or getting lost or anything happening. It's here in Playground. You can access it from any computer. We're based on the cloud. And I will say that might sound concerning, but we actually, all our hosting is through Google and Amazon. So, it's the best security in the world. We like to say, and we back that. We trust the experts to do that. And that's, security and hosting data is what they do best. So you also, like I mentioned, you have guardian information. So you can have all your family information. You can see who is signed up and who has not signed up for Playground. And the idea there is when they're signed up, you can chat with them through Playground. They can pay their bills through Playground. Paperwork goes through Playground. So it's important that if you use Playground, you have your family full benefit from the summer. Easily, you can send a sign-up link by clicking this send sign-up link. You'll send an email to all those families to sign up. No work has to be done on your end. We make it very easy for that. You also have all your classrooms in here. So imagine you have more than one classroom. Some of you might. You can say, this classroom is the bunnies. I have 9 students in the classroom. 7 are currently checked in. My ratio of staff to teachers, 0 staff members, 7 students. I know I have a problem here. You can also check out our ratios tab if you're ever worried about your ratios. You can say, right, you have to set the ratios, but basically 8 students are here, 0 staff members are in here. Assuming you have your ratios set, you can have this be flagged to you as, hey, we need a new staff member here. We don't have enough staff in this classroom. For most of you who are family childcare providers, this may not be applicable. I just wanted to share a bit more there. If you guys have staff,
question, Benny.
yeah,
I have a question. So you were doing before, you were talking about the children and their stuff, their enrollment forms. Did you say that parents and families do the enrollment form and it gets automatically inputted, like
Exactly.
the provider doesn't
So,
have to retype it?
100%. So this is how you would set up enrollment. Let me just, sorry, one more time. Okay, so you guys would set up enrollment plans here. Basically, if you have a group for toddlers or summer or anything you might want to do, you set up enrollment plans. And then families will go ahead and you'll share a link with them. You can see copy link. You'll have this link, or you can just do share. And you can email this invitation. This link that you share out, I'll show you what it looks like. We make these pages for you automatically based off of what you do during the enrollment setup. Families will come here. They can learn about your program, see photos, learn about you, get the basic information that they need to know, what days you're available, what the student to staff ratio is, anything specific about you, your licensing number, et cetera, et cetera. And they'll go here and click register. And when they register, you'll then have them fill out an application that you set up, and that application will show up here. So you see this column, applied, waitlisted, accepted, and rejected. You can click into your applications. You can basically add any custom fields. So I want to know their email, their phone number, if they have a sibling in my center, I want to know if they submitted their documents, if they have a discount code applicable, if they have a subsidy, for example. So anything is it's all very customizable, but let me just click into one student and you can see. So here you can see their application form. So their name, their date of birth, their gender, et cetera, et cetera. All this information is digital, stored in Playground. You can also see all their paperwork here, which assuming you make paperwork part of the enrollment process, it would show up here. So as you then process your applications, you can move it from applied to waitlisted, waitlisted to accepted to rejected. And the cool thing here is we set up custom emails that you can send out automatically. So when you move someone from applied to waitlisted, this email that's going to show up here, you can make any custom email, and this one should be templated, but it's not. Let me see if this one is. Cool. So you see how it says parent name, listing name, student name. All this information will pull the specific information from that student and add it into that email. And so when I move any student across the enrollment flow, this email will go out to them automatically with their name, their parents' name, the listing name, done automatically. So you don't have to go or send the email saying, hey, you've been accepted, or hey, you've been moved to the wait list. When you move them from one column to the next, when I click save, now that email is going to go out automatically to that family. And so same thing here, a student applies, I can review their application, I can see if I want to add a priority, this is my number one priority student for the future. And this is good because if you have a big wait list, you can manage your wait list through here, through that priority. You can say, my number one students are the next ones to enroll. And then you'll go from applied to accepted. Now the student's accepted, I can put them on the billing plan. They're on a full-time billing plan. I'm going to assign them to a classroom, select the start date, and then have their billing schedule or billing plan. And you can see this student's on the full-time billing plan. And I can always change this later if I want. So now he's on part-time. You can see the price changes here. I want to go full-time, and I can always make any specific edits I might want for this student. So you can see here, all my billing is set up in Playground. A monthly bill, a monthly balance of $450 will be added onto this student. So this is going to show up on their account, and the parent can pay this directly through Playground. And that the idea here is it simplifies your billing automatically. You set it up through enrollment, and then you'll go to your student once they're accepted, and you can go ahead and just see their payment history. So this student, for example, has paid $3,500. Their current balance is $500. Their overdue 0, and their unposted amount is $1,000. So that means that you're still going to post $1,000 on their account, but they haven't yet received that. So, and you can also just see individual installments. So this installment was paid. These were all paid. This one's coming due. This one's unposted. And you can also see if they have late payments, et cetera, et cetera. I know I just threw a lot at you.
Yeah, I have a question. So
Yeah.
if somebody wants to try this, but they want to try pieces of it, components of it, can they do that and not do all of it? Can they just like start slow and do some of these pieces?
100%. So we always recommend, to get the most out of it, you should have your families invited. That way they can communicate with you, pay their bills, do their paperwork. That's like the must. We also recommend billing and paperwork are really good features to use at the start. I know there's a lot here. So you can always use what you want. Obviously, the more you go using, the more stuff starts to connect, and the stronger it becomes. Just to give you an idea, another simple thing, we have chat. So instead of having to use iMessage or WhatsApp or email, you can just chat with families directly through Playground. So I'm going to make a chat with a parent of a student. I'll look up Daniel. It's going to say the primary guardians of Daniel. I can start the chat, or I can add more people into this, and I'll just start a chat. I can say hello. I can add a photo in. Anything I might want, I can send voice notes, for example. I can send a photo here, send that photo to the parent. They can chat back with me. And as the admin, you can also see if you have multiple people that might be chatting, you can see all the chats going on across your site. Delete anything, make any changes, just to make sure that things are running how you want them to. No one's sending offensive messages. You don't want to get in trouble. So you have that ability as well. You can also start chats really easily with whole classrooms. So if you want to send a chat to all the parents of one classroom, you can just say, all the parents of bunnies, I want to say tomorrow is water day. And then I'll send that message out. Now all the parents in that classroom got that message. Cool. Anyone have a specific feature they might be interested in? What any pain points you're facing right now that I can touch on? Or can I get a thumbs up? Are we doing good? Awesome. Thank you, Jen.
I'd like
Okay,
to know a little bit about the food program.
Yeah, 100%. So you guys likely offer meals in your childcare program. Your families might often ask you, hey, what are you giving my kid? And you also might be using CACFP or some other food subsidy program. So using Playground, you can manage all your meals. You can basically create your meal plans, build them out meal by meal, and you'll say, hey, I'm gonna make a meal. Let's make breakfast. I'm gonna add a meat. We're doing eggs. I'm gonna add a vegetable. We're doing avocados. I'm gonna add a fruit. And depending on which state you're in and which programs you might be partnered with, we can set this up for you where you can see which specific food items are or are not reimbursable and what criteria you need to meet in order for that meal to be reimbursed. So if you need to have certain items in that meal for it to be reimbursed, we'll let you know. So you can see right now it says not reimbursable. Why? Because it must include a grain and it must include a milk. So I'm gonna go out of dairy. I'm gonna just add milk. I'm gonna add a grain. I'm gonna add barley, and now this meal, breakfast, is reimbursable. And so I'm gonna go ahead and save this. And so now my Wednesday, I have breakfast set up here. I can plan my meals out for as far out as I want. If I want to plan out the meal of December 17th, I can go here, set my meals up. You can also create meal templates. So, if you want to have a meal that goes on multiple times a week or whatever, that sort of thing, you can do that. Let me just go back to our current week. And so you can also just record meals through here. So I want to record breakfast, and I can say which students had breakfast today. I can either just click on all students, and I'll record this meal for them. And sorry, someone said, am I beeping in and out? Or Donna said is it my internet or is it her internet? Can you hear me well?
I can hear you fine. I think it might be hers.
Okay. Well, Donna, you can always get the recording if I am beeping in and out for you. So this is the meal plan. Any question here specifically? And you can also create claims. So if you have a CSCP or a meal claim that you submit to a sponsor, food sponsor, you can always create that claim for the month of November. You can say, hey, I said I had 11 breakfasts, 10 a.m. snacks, 1 lunch, 5 dinners, for example. I'll submit this to my sponsor. And now all of a sudden, if I link my sponsor to my account, they'll get that food information automatically. So really easy for you to, again, track your meals, share it with your families, but also get reimbursed for those meals if you are getting reimbursed. Another awesome feature is our feed. Very similar to social media, Facebook or Instagram. You can share photos, announcements, documents through here with your families. So I'm going to just say, happy holidays. And I can schedule this out to the future if I want. I'm going to say, I want this to post to my families in mid-December. So I'm going to come here and put December 10th. I'm going to have this post after 1 p.m. And I'm going to schedule this post. I'm going to select my recipients. I'm going to send this to all my students and all my staff members. I'm going to save that. I can add an attachment here if I want. I'll add this photo of our beautiful team. And you can send this as an app notification, an email, and an SMS message. That ensures that your families get communication. So instead of it, they'll say, oh, I never got your message. You can say, oh, I sent it to you over text, email, and as a notification. Like, it's pretty hard for them to miss that. You can schedule this out. Now I schedule that post to go out. And on December 10th at 1 p.m., that's going to be posted. But I can also just post something right now. So I'll say, today we did water day, for example. And I can add a photo. I can add my recipients. I'm going to actually just share this with one specific classroom. If I want to share this with one specific classroom, I'll just share with the bunnies. I'm going to select the recipients. I'm going to send it as an app notification and an email. I'm going to post this. And now my families, the members of that classroom, will see that post on their phone. They'll get a notification. They can comment, like, anything they want. Very similar to Facebook, and you as an admin can also just filter posts. If you ever want to say, hey, what post did Daniel post? Or what classrooms, what posts have gone on in the bunnies classroom, for example. And I can save this, and now I can see only the posts that have gone on in the bunnies classroom. So we have also filters. You can just filter post type. I want to see on the phone. I'll show you guys in a second. You can do specific posts, for example, naps, meals, observations, diaper changes, fluids, anything of that sort. You can record those as well. And you can also just filter those on the desktop. So like I said, you have a desktop, which is very powerful, and that's what you're looking at right now. But you also have an app on your phone. And so parents can use that app. You can use that app throughout the day. We find that most providers also have tablets at their program, and that makes it really easy to track, and record data. It helps with check-in and check-out. Another great feature I want to bring you guys your attention to is our paperwork, which I mentioned before. Using Playground, all of your paperwork becomes digital. So that means anything that you have right now on paper, you can upload as a PDF into Playground, and you can set up basically smart fields on each document. I'll show you that right now, that families can then go ahead and fill out on Playground. So let me show you. You're going to go to student paperwork. You'll click on create. I want to make a new fillable PDF, which means that people can fill it out. Let's see if we have stuff for Vermont. We may not have anything for Vermont quite yet. We might. Okay, we have no templates for Vermont. We can add those in, no problem. If anyone wants to share over the paperwork they might use, any custom paperwork or any state-specific paperwork, let me just show you California. So the idea here is you can upload all your paperwork. You can see a preview right here. You can always check out what the paperwork looks like before you use it. I'm going to take this one. You're going to add a document name. So I'm going to call this one my identification and emergency information. Everyone's gonna have this document. And then I want to go here and automatically, or if it's not done automatically, you can always add in these fields. So you see these blue fields with these links. The really cool thing is all of these fields that have these links are linked to your family information. So when they go through your enrollment process and they put their name, address, email, phone number, all that is going to automatically appear on all their paperwork if it's linked correctly. And so that makes it really easy for your families to fill out their paperwork because they don't have to fill out their name, address, all that information a million times. It's done automatically, and they just have to fill out the specifics of each paperwork, each document, and they'll submit it. Super easy. And so just to give you an idea, all these fields are added in. A family's going to come in here. They're going to type in a child name. They'll put in their last name. They're going to put in their sex, their phone number, for example, and they'll just fill out this form. Most of it will be pre-filled for them, and they'll just go ahead and click the next page. They'll come here, put their signature. So you can also record your signature digitally, and I'm going to submit it. And so the parent will be shown a success screen after they submit their document, and then you can see all your documents in one place. You can see 88 people have not started this document, 0 are in progress, 0 have been submitted. So once people go ahead and start submitting them, you can then view the documents here. So you just be able to go here. I can fill it out for the family if I want. But assuming families are filling them out, then I can go ahead and download all of these PDFs if I want onto my computer, or download them as CSV responses as well. So now all of a sudden your paperwork is fully digital. You don't have to worry about losing it. You can always search for it. I can also just look at my paperwork by student. So I can say for this student, what's their status on their paperwork? And you can see this form has not started. I can fill out a PDF for them, for example, just to show you what this might look like. Just gonna go parent signature, or this is, what is it, 11, today's the 28th. And I'll just put my signature here. I'm going to sign my name, and this is my digital signature adopted onto my form. And so now I can submit this document. I want to get a success screen. Awesome. It was submitted. I want to go back home, and now I can see this document was submitted. And then I can go ahead and view the submission. And now whenever you want to look at that paperwork, you can just click on it right there and see it. Really easy. You can also do file requests if you want to have someone upload a photo. For example, in the past when it was more COVID era, people were uploading photos of their COVID test results, and you would upload the actual image there. You can also have resources which are view only. So if you have a policy handbook, you have late fee notices examples, you can just have that show up in the resources tab for families to view at any time. Any questions on the paperwork? Cool. One other thing that our family chalk providers like especially is our expense tracking. Not everyone has business specific accounts for their childcare program. Some people often commingle their expenses between their personal and business cards, and it makes end of year taxes quite a hassle sometimes. So what we've done at Playground is we created Playground spend cards. Think of it as a business, credit card almost, where you can, using the tuition that families pay you, or you can fund it, you can use that money to go with our Playground card that you will physically have or digitally, and you go to Target or you go to Costco, wherever you buy your materials, you can spend money on that card using your balance, and then those transactions will automatically appear in your Playground account. And then you can automatically, you basically train Playground to categorize your expenses, and for most stores, we'll know what they fall into, but you can always change things. So you can see, for example, Walmart, $34, I can upload a receipt from my phone, or I can add it here. And that way, if I need my staff or I want to have a receipt on here for myself, I can all of a sudden save that receipt for my future reference. And now I can view that receipt as well. And you can have this for your history, when it was when this purchase was made, the amount, the category it falls into. And so when end of the year taxes come around, it's really easy because you can have all your categories already done for you. You can just say, oh, I spent $200 on legal or $100 on travel, and if you want to be reimbursed for certain categories, it makes that really easy too.
Programs must love this feature. This seems like a great one.
Yeah, it's awesome. People really do love it, and it's cool. I'll show you just how you can make your cards. So if you have, just for yourself, it's so easy, or for your staff, you can either issue a physical or virtual card. I'm going to call this Benny's spend card. I'm going to assign this to the user. So this is the person that's going to use the card. I'm going to put a name on the shipping information. I'm going to put New York. Go New York, my zip code. Awesome. I'm gonna create the card. And now you'll see right here, all of a sudden now I have this spend card that I can use. And I can, this is a literal card that you can take to the store. We'll ship you one, but you can also just have this number appear digitally. And you can use this on Amazon, use it at Target, and that will all automatically be pulled into Playground. And you can track previous month's expenses compared to this month. You can also add, if you issue these cards for staff members, you can set limits on how much they can spend at a time, how much they can spend per month, et cetera, et cetera. Very customizable. Anybody have questions on our expenses tracking features? It's cool because you can collect all your revenue in Playground, and you can also do your spending through Playground, and that makes your end of the year taxes so simple because you have your income, you have your expenses, your profit and loss is done. Sign me up. Anna, I'm here with you. Happy to hear that. So another cool thing, you guys definitely have to do this, I'm assuming, is reporting to the state on anything from attendance to meals, or even for yourself, you want to know how much billing you've received in the past month. You can go to our report feature and you can use any custom report we have, or you can create any report for yourself. And I'm just going to go for attendance, and I will say, hey, I want to look at my daily attendance for the past week for all my students, or I can just go for one specific classroom or one specific student. I'm going to generate this report. And now, all of a sudden, with a click of a button, I have all my attendance records for the past week with signatures, clock in, clock out, who did it. I can print this, export it, email it to myself, anything of that sort. I can also change this. Instead of being all my students, I can just do one specific student. And I want to look at the record for Samuel Young, for example. I'll generate this report. And now I have all of Samuel Young's attendance record. And I can do this for as long as I want. I can go back a month if I want, start of October until today, generate this daily, or I can generate, total time, for example. So how much time have they been checked in and out? You can see per student. I'm gonna just go for one specific student. Cool, these are all 0 minutes, cool. And so using these reports, you have really powerful reporting abilities. You can also do your payment history. So I want to see my accounts receivable aging on, for example, the date of 11/28, which is today. And I'll generate this report, and this is my accounts receivable today. How much is aging? How much is overdue? So currently people have this balance due. 1 to 30 days old have this much, 31 to 60 days old. So I can literally go student by student and say, hey, how late are they on their payments? And I can do this across my center really easily. And this just helps you get more transparency, more clarity into how you're running your business. We know, and do any of you guys charge late fees for families who pick up late?
Yes.
Yes. Who said that? Anna. Okay.
Anna.
Anna, awesome. Anna, how do you charge your families right now?
I basically tell them at the door that they owe me a specific amount, and they usually Venmo it to me right away.
And do you charge by the minute, or is it just a flat fee when they're late?
I charge in 15-minute increments.
Okay, so let me show you something that's going to save you a good amount of time right here. So we have a Playground automatic late fee. So I'm going to go into my school. I want to go into, where is it, my students? Or actually, I think it's in my settings. Playground billing. Let's let this load. Oh, it's taking a second. Let me see, where is it? I believe it's in this tab. Or might it be here? Okay, well, let me just show you the idea here. So it's fee approval. So basically, you can have all automatic late fees be applied to your families. So if you want to charge by the minute, by 15 minutes, by the hour, by flat fee, anytime a family arrives after their scheduled checkout time, which you have set on the student schedules. So you have your student schedule.
Yes.
And based off that schedule, if they're here after 1:30 p.m., automatically that student will start incurring that late fee. And that will show up. You can either choose to bill or forgive or edit this fee, and that's going to appear automatically on that family's account. So you don't have to stand at the door asking for Venmo. You don't have to monitor how late they are.
It's so awkward.
Yeah, and exactly. It takes away the awkwardness, and now it's not your fault. Now it's just, hey, I set this up
This
in
is my
Playground.
system. Now,
It's-
what
it's-
happens if what happens if there's a snowstorm? Because, living in New York, you probably deal with the same. And I waive the late fees for my parents when, the
100%.
interstate is jammed up, or, if
You
there's
just click on-
extenuating circumstances,
Yep.
will it allow, can I remove that fee?
Yeah, so this is actually not charged until you click bill. So only when you click
Oh,
bill,
okay.
it's applied to the family. If I want,
Okay.
I don't have to charge it. I can just click forgive, 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 and those families won't be charged. And you can see
Okay, now
status
can I
charge.
is there a way, I'm sorry, I'm getting into some pretty detailed questions here. Is
No
there a
problem.
way to do a forgive report?
Yeah, let me check that out. That's a great question. I believe so. And let's see, reports.
So if I'm, say I forgive for, 3 weeks in a row, I can go back and say, look, here, I've forgiven this for,
Yep, 100%. Let me check that out. I believe you should be able to do so.
okay.
I can get more on that back to you. I'm almost positive you can do this. I just don't know off the
Okay.
top of my.
You sold me at the debit card thing.
Yeah.
I was
Awesome.
like,
Well,
okay.
yeah, there's so much you can do, and the cool thing about, like I just mentioned, those late fees is you don't have to be the one doing that anymore. It takes away that awkward interaction with your parent who's like, "Are you really gonna charge me?" And it's like, you know what? I'm a business. I want to, just how any business wants to be treated with professionalism and respect. Your time is worth something, and you don't want to. It's easier for people to take advantage when they're giving you plans.
Exactly.
So one way we like to think of Playground as a way for you to professionalize your childcare and elevate it in a way of, hey, I'm using this system that's helping me manage everything. It's not just me running things on paper and pencil anymore.
Right.
And it helps you have everything in one spot automatically. So when you charge that fee, it's going to show up on their bill, on their account, and they're going to go ahead and just pay that bill on their account as well.
Okay.
And they'll see why they got that fee. They can check out the breakdown. They can see I got a late fee applied for being 14 minutes late.
And there's a way to, track co-pays and stuff like that for subsidy and,
100%.
okay.
So let me go into payment. So you see here in the billing tab, you're going to go subsidy. Oops, sorry. Billing subsidies. You'll add your subsidy agency, for example, and I'll just say, any example you might want. You can say CSCFP.
Vermont,
What's the one in Vermont called?
State of Vermont,
It-
Child Care Assistance, Financial Assistance Program, CCAFB.
Awesome. So you add the agency ID, the description, for example, and then you can go ahead and I'm just gonna go to State of Vermont. I'm gonna add that. They give me a deposit. I'm expecting them to give me $1,000. I only received $750, for example. And then you can go ahead and distribute it across your children.
Okay.
So for this child, I'm expecting $100. I received 90. The adjustment is $10. I can either waive it or charge it to their account.
Okay.
And then
Perfect.
do this across all your students, and that way you can just see remaining to distribute at $660 remaining to distribute. I'll just do this. And you can then all of a sudden see I can go ahead and finish this. Oh, and I need to put in these values. So here I want to wave, 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 wave. Let's see if this lets me now. Oh, I got some errors. Okay, well, this is the subsidy functionality. You can track all your subsidy in there as well. And that'll
Okay,
show up.
perfect.
Yeah. And the cool thing also, if you ever have any feedback that you want to give us, if something, you think something would be cool to have, you can always click on this right here and you just add a feedback request. You can say, report on waived fees, for example. And then we'll get that feedback request from you. We'll know it came from you and we can always follow up once we have that done, ask any questions we might have. Like I said in the beginning, we're, it's a Playground family. We want you guys to be a part of the team rather than just, a faceless face. We want to have everyone be involved with our product because it's a living product. We continue to build, we're continuing to add on every day. What you see now is the product of 3+ years of working with childcare directors and administrators to get it to where it's at. And there's still so much more we think is possible in terms of
Awesome.
automation. Yeah.
I have one more question.
Mhm.
My question is, once you set up the tuition and fees and the billing system, does it automatically get sent out, or do you have to hit the send button as a
So it automatically gets sent out.
automatic?
So you
Great.
can set up billing cadences. So you want, for example, this student, I want to be billed on a monthly cadence or on a weekly cadence. I can set up, for example, and Anna had asked about overage. Also here you can set up overage exemption. So if you don't want to charge a specific student, for example, you can do that here. But bills go out automatically. There is a fee on credit card and on ACH, standard in the industry, but you can also choose to pass off that fee to your families if that's something that you would desire. So instead of that fee coming out of the tuition they pay, it's just added on top of it.
That's pretty standard, like you said.
Yep. Yeah.
Great.
And let me see if I can show you a bit of the app. Give me 1 second. Anyone have any questions? More questions for me? No. One other cool thing before I close out of this is you also have a calendar that you can just share with your family. So if you have any events going on in your childcare program that you want to share with your community, pretty much like Google Calendar right here. You can just go. I can just go next week, drag right here, and I'll just call this open house. And I'm gonna have everyone be invited to this, or I can just select who I want to invite to this event. I'll put the information, come join us for an evening, whatever, whatever you want to say. You'll create this event, and now all of a sudden the families will be able to see this event on their end. Student schedules, like I mentioned before, you can always set these up per student. So I want to have one student that comes from 10 to 12:30. Another student will come on this week only from, full time, for example. Everything's very customizable. So pretty fun. Can a budget be set up in this program? Could you elaborate a bit more? What do you mean a budget? A budget for yourself and your spending? So a business budget. Do you mean like a profit and loss statement at the end of the, a program budget? Okay, we're getting there. So is that how much you're able to spend from the business side on that program? Or how much, I just need a bit more clarity on what you mean by budget. And for anyone that also has more questions, I'll have my information at the end, but you can always reach out. We're happy to chat through stuff, work through any questions you might have. So let me just stop sharing here and see if I can pull up. So I want to pull up the app on my computer just so you can see a bit more of what the actual app would look like from your phone. How are we doing so far, everyone? We think it could be valuable. How are we feeling? Cool. Awesome. So I'm letting this load. So Jen, you said you work with childcare providers, correct? How many
Yes.
do you work with, for example?
Excuse me, what?
Did I cut out?
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. What did you say?
How many providers do you work with?
Oh,
Uh,
oh my gosh. We work with we work with businesses across the state. I would say, yeah, a lot.
Okay. And so not only childcare businesses.
Only childcare businesses.
Okay, awesome. And do you have any idea how many childcare businesses there are across the state of Vermont?
Lorraine, what do you,
I think
would,
there's like 1,000 right now.
yeah.
Okay, nice. Cool. Well, can you
So
guys
I
see
have
my
a question.
screen?
I
Yeah,
have
go
a
ahead.
question for you. Are you able to access our information that we keep in our app
No, so
program?
we're not able to see information unless an extraneous event happens. but your information is pretty much private. Yep. So this is the Playground app. So this is what you would see on your phone. So here you can go, for example, I'm going to show you just, you can have this kiosk where families will come scan this QR code to check in and out. When they do that, or they can enter a PIN if they don't have a phone. They can do that automatically. You'll track attendance. You can make any posts. You can see these are the posts that I had made today. Any kind of post that you want to go out. You can also see, you can schedule posts out. You can also make, any kind of activity, you want to track potty for specific students, for specific classrooms, et cetera, et cetera. You can always do, the details on the potty changes, for example. And that lets families know what's going on with their students. You can also chat directly with parents. Like I shared with you before, you can make chats with full classrooms. You can record voice notes. Really easy to chat with your families. You can also check out your whole student roster, see who's checked in and check out. I can easily check them out. If I want to check the student out, contact the sign for parents. So the parent will now sign on their device to check them out. Who's checking them out? You'll select the guardian, and the parent will now sign for that student. And that will be collected on your phone again with all your attendance history. And then you can also have your parents fill out paperwork either through their phone or tablet or computer. You can see your staff directory if you have staff. You can clock your staff in and out as well. So you can track the staff hours that they work, helps you simplify payroll. You have all your paperwork here as well. So like I showed you before,
So
any
they
kind of
they check their children in and out on their devices.
Exactly. So they would come with their phone, scan
That's
the
awesome.
QR code, and they'll just say check in. They'll sign their signature, they'll press submit, and then it's done. So no more you having to worry about them checking in. But we see a lot of providers will print this out on a piece of paper and put it at their door. And when people walk in, they have to scan the QR code to walk in, and that way people will just know, hey, to check in and out, just scan the QR code.
Now, I still have one parent that insists on paying by check.
100%. Let me
Can
go
that,
back.
is
Yep.
that okay?
100%. So
Okay.
plug into this. You go into a student. Let me just go into whichever one you might want. Let's go into the Samuel Young. And I can just go into his payments. I can add a payment. So I can add an offline payment. And I can say this was cash or check, whatever you might want, or Venmo, whatever you want. And you would just say they paid me $100 on this date. I can add a description. If you want to call it whatever, donation, whatever you want to call it, you record that payment. And now you can see that payment's on the student account.
Okay, is there a way for me to put those funds into the playground account or no?
Yeah, so you can fund for the card you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, well, so cash, not for cash, because you're not actually processing it through Playground. But when people pay
Right.
with credit cards, and we're processing that money for you, we can transfer that money instead of going directly to your bank account. You can pull it back out.
Okay. So I can transfer from my bank account into my playground
Exactly.
account. Okay.
Exactly. You can add funds here. You'll say, I want to add $100. You'll choose your funding source, and then it'll show up in your account.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. Cool. Awesome. So that's a bit more about Playground. Any questions you might have?
Who do they contact if they want to sign up?
100%. So you can either contact me, I'll shoot my email into the chat. A fun little thing we're doing right now, because it's the holidays, we're doing a fun promotion. When you sign up for Playground, you'll get a tablet on us. So if another reason, if you wanted to sign up, you're thinking about it, pretty cool little promotion we're going on right now for the holidays. So you can either scan this QR code and fill out the information, or if you want to, move forward right now, shoot your email into the chat. I'll respond back to you, and we can get you moving forward. But in general, try playground.com/let's-grow-kids with the slashes inside, and that'll take you to this landing page, and you can just fill out this information, fill out your name, your last name, email, phone number, program, etc. Submit it, and we'll get in touch with you. You can also just create your account immediately.
Oh. And if you're thinking about it and you're not sure, and like in 2 days you're like, darn it, I want to try, and you could contact me too, and I can hook you up.
And I'm happy to send this out. When you send out the recording, I'll send out my information as well. We're here, available whenever you guys want. please do be in touch with us.
When you tell us it's free, is it free for the lifetime of the program or is it free for a year?
So this is a partnership with Let's Grow Kids Vermont. I believe it might be up to 2 years. What, it's 1 year funding?
It's 1 year.
Okay. So it's 1 year
And then
free.
how
and
much
then
is it?
and then it's $50 a month. So we think that, all the utility that comes from it, for $50 a month, there's a lot more headaches solved. So yeah, that's what it costs. And yeah.
I do know from other programs that use different types of software that their payment, like parents pay a lot more, like you'll make that $50 up rather than
Yeah.
trying to find money and having parents pay, trying to find parents, help encouraging them
Yeah.
to pay tuition.
The automated billing is a huge lift for providers. It really eliminates the time you have to spend chasing people down to pay you. And you can even set up auto pay, mandatory auto pay. So if you want a family to be forced to pay on the first of the month, for example, to be a part of your program, that's something you can do. Very powerful billing functionality because we know that's the lifeblood of your business. So you can just see here, all your billing goes through Playground. You can always add anything custom. You can also generate automatic reports and statements. So either you can do this or your parents can do this at any time. I can specify date ranges or all time. How much have I paid my childcare provider or how much have they paid me? We generate this for you automatically, and you can all of a sudden now view a billing statement here. And you can see they have $1,000 overdue. They have $500 in debits. So there's $500 in any balance. And this is generated automatically for yourself with your information here. So this will show up with your school information. And your parents can generate those at any time as well. So they don't have to bug you saying, hey, send me an invoice, send me a statement. They do it on their own.
Great.
Cool. Any last questions? I'll just go back to the screen. Yeah, again, scan this, fill out the form. Would love to chat more with anyone who wants to learn more.
And you
We
saw
are
Anna put
partners.
her email in for you, Benny.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody very much. Anna, I will be in touch with you quite shortly. But looking forward to hopefully working with many Vermont providers. Hopefully I'll have a trip to Vermont with a good reason to smell the trees and have the fresh air, but also meet the wonderful childcare providers in the area. So thank you everybody for having me today. Thank you,
Thank
Lorraine,
you.
for organizing.
Thank you.
And yeah, everybody have a good evening.
Thanks,
Thank
Benny. That's great.
Bye.